What do Tyrannosaurus Rex, free milk, and the hymn Jerusalem have in common? Hi folks, we are at a fantastic location today because we're in Glastonbury, and I'm stood right outside the Church of St. John, an amazing place. And we're going to learn more and more about this town as we go around. We're going to share the architecture. We're going to show you buildings that have been created from the stones of the abbey that once stood here. The abbey is now a ruin, but it dominated the landscape and it controlled the area for centuries. High above it is the Tor, looking down over Glastonbury, a place of myth and legend. We've got the Holy Thorn growing right here in the church grounds, where the eldest pupil of the junior school and the vicar will come once a year and collect branches to send to the monarch. So much history, so much mythology, so much to share. So let's have a look.
Look at this. Oh, I do love walking down the central aisle and seeing all the columns either side. I always imagine what it would be like for a bride to be walking down to get married and seeing all the faces of friends and family passing by these huge columns to get to the front. But as usual, churches have such wonderful things in them. Look at this lectern. Now there's a modern microphone, but look at that eagle. All in brass. Wow. In memory of Henry Lowry. It's quite a substantial thing, and the candlesticks either side are absolutely stunning too. Look at that. Wow. Talk about oversized. That's about 5 foot high. It's almost level with the top of my head. Oh, and here we got the pulpit. Look at the carving on that. Wow, it's so detailed, and look, you can see it's quite deep. Certainly not just surface carved. These are quite three-dimensional. I do love that. Oh, let's have a look at this candle. It's got something on it. 2023. What a grand candle. Oh, I've just spotted the ceiling. Look at that. It's got like a nighttime blue sky with stars all over it. Oh, I love that. And then you come down to this absolutely stunning stained glass window. Look at that. So much work and detail in there. And if we look around, there are another two there. And 1, 2, 3 there. What's at the foot of this column? Anything interesting, do you think? Yes, look at that. There's a piece of glass floor, and you can see further down to the depths where the original floor is. But they raised the level of that floor many years ago because they didn't want to keep carrying coffins up and down the steps from outdoors to indoors. So by raising the floor with these huge flagstones, they didn't need to. They could walk straight in off the street. Much neater job. This is something that's always interesting. You've got this gorgeous old screen and you think, oh, very reverential, very posh. Don't touch, don't look. But if we go in here, it's where the children actually come during the service. They're all toys and books and beanbags. So this church certainly isn't stuck in the past. It may have these big, gorgeous stained glass windows, but doesn't exclude anybody, and it's very relaxed. If you want to come here for a service, you don't think, oh, I can't go there, I've got my children with me. They'll be more than welcome. And look at these angels on the edge of the pews. Go sideways on. There's that one. There's that one. Look at this. More intricate carving on the stone and on the wood on the top. And if we look at there is a chain. Now I'm going to guess, I will check later, that is the lid on the font, and they can use the chain to raise the lid so that they can use the stone font piece. Whoa, look at these old chairs. Again, lots of carving. Not so deep now. It's quite shallow, I'd say. 1.5, perhaps 2 millimeters on the writing. So nowhere near as deep as some of the older carvings. And there we've got a very nice crest of arms. Coat of arms. Crest. I'm not sure what you call it. And very, very old door. With a very, very new fire exit sign. Look at this. There are the pipes from the pipe organ. Unfortunately we can't go in there because there's a sign saying private on the door. But if you look, there's some steps there that you could go up and climb right up behind the pipes. I bet that is a very loud organ. And this is the organ. Wow, look at that. Then you've got the stops. And there are the keys, all protected behind that glass frontage. And let's have a look at the pedals. Ooh, what a lot of pedals. More than in my car. What's this like on the other side? Let's have a little look. It's so grand on the one side, but yep, it's quite plain on that side. Which makes me think that could have gone against a wall. Oh, look at these caskets. Wow. Oh, look at that. If you brought your dog in, he can have a little drink of water and a lie on the mat. But look at the keyhole and escutcheon on there. Wow. These big metal locking mechanisms. All metal. And then you've got this wooden one. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? Oh, look. I would love to pull that and ring the bell. I don't think I'm allowed. The ceiling all the way up there. And behind that ceiling must be, I would assume, a bell. If we have a look at this, don't worry, I'm not going to pull it. But they're quite firm, but with fur on the outside. Very nice. Only once I've ever been allowed to pull a church bell. We were in a coffee morning once, and they said about the bell, and I said, can I pull the bell? And they said, yes, have a go. So I did. I loved it. Oh, look at this little door. Oh, yes. I love little doors. If you can't get through, it doesn't matter. You can just imagine what's on the other side. What secrets do you think are on the other side of that door? Let's have a look through the keyhole. Can you see anything? What do you think is hiding behind the door? Let us know in the comments.
While we were inside the church, there was a really lovely couple of people there, and they were so helpful and chatty, and while Karen was filming I was talking, and Bill told me this is the new tower because it was built around 1500. So folks, if that's the new tower, you can guess just how long this church has been here, or a church of some type.
This is Little Imp's toy shop, and look at this for a fairy house.
I want one.
Oh, so do I. Look at that. would be a beautiful bird's house. I'd like it in a bigger size so that I could live in it. Look at that, Johnson Towers.
Spiral staircase. Oh, it's a cute dragon.
Very cute little dragon. Oh, we've got lots of crystals here. Various shapes, sizes, colours. It's very colourful. And that's all blues, greens and purples, and this is all pinks, purples and oranges. Anything tempt you? What about that nodule? That looks nice. Almost looks soft inside. It isn't, it's rock.
£695.
Oh, I'll take 2. Ooh, a charity shop. RSPCA, South East Somerset branch. Should we go in? Come on then.
We're loving it here at Glastonbury. Such an atmosphere, so much architecture. But we really should visit the Tor if we're going to truly say we've been to Glastonbury. So come on, let's get over and catch the evening sunlight and check it out. Okay, I've got my hat on. We're on open land. We're not in the comfort of the shade of the buildings, those gorgeous buildings in Glastonbury. We've now come outside of Glastonbury and we're making our way to the higher ground. But before we do that, I just wanted to give you an answer to those questions that we began with. Because how is Tyrannosaurus Rex linked to free milk? That's the first thing. Well, it's the Glastonbury Festival. That's been going on here since the 70s. They do say that the gentleman who started it needed to pay off his overdraft, so he offered people to come and watch a band in a field for £1. And for your £1, you could have free milk from the farm. He attracted 1,500 people to that first festival, but the headline band, the Kinks, they pulled out, and it was Mark Bolan and T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Rex, that took their place. It's grown a bit since then, because to be honest, as we walk around today, there's place to park, there's room on the pavements, and we can wander in the shops. I wouldn't want to try that from the summer solstice for the next couple of days, because on June the 21st, this place will be alive with people. Because from the 1,500 in the first festival, we're talking 210,000 tickets have been sold for this year's concerts. That's quite amazing, especially when you realise it costs over £300 a ticket and £5 booking fee. And the other question that I said we'd answer today is connected to this walk that we're making. Because how is Jerusalem connected to Glastonbury? It's by Blake's poem. He wrote a poem back in the 1800s called Jerusalem, which was set to music in 1916 and became the great hymn. He asked the question, and did those feet in ancient times walk upon England's mountains green? And was the holy Lamb of God on England's pleasant pastures seen? And did the countenance divine shine forth upon our clouded hills? And was Jerusalem builded here among these dark satanic mills? Bring me my bow of burning gold. Bring me my arrows of desire. Bring me my spear, O clouds unfold. Bring me my chariot of fire. I will not cease from mental fight, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land. Powerful words, words that were put to music to raise the spirits of a nation at a time of great anxiety. Words that were written by the poet originally as he saw the impact of the Industrial Revolution and saw those dark mills that sucked the life from the working people that had once lived out in the fields. Words that today we can see the inspiration for, because it was right here that the legend was born, that the Christ child stepped onto an island that was surrounded by waters, precisely where we stand. So now it's our turn to continue our journey on England's green and pleasant land.
Which way to the Tor? The Tor by a stone down lane, I think.
Before we head up to the Tor, there are two very interesting oak trees over here that I think is worth a look at.
Oh, right, let's go.
The one that's died,
Yeah.
that's called Gog.
Right.
And the one on the other side there, which is still alive, is Magog.
Right.
They are the names of the trees, and they are ancient oaks of Avalon.
And Gog is dead. He's not very well. He died and had a fire in him just before he died, but then he died afterwards a few years later. And Magog is still alive. Somebody did set fire to the inside of Magog, but he survived. And as you can see, there's oak leaves growing on him, so he's still managing to keep going. And in the autumn, we'll be dropping acorns. I wonder if people come and collect those acorns so they can have a baby of Magog. Apparently, the circumference of Magog is over 34 feet. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? You couldn't hug Magog and get your hands right round him. He's far too broad.
They reckon that if it's that circumference, we're talking 1,000 years that that tree has stood.
Imagine how many candles Magog would have to have on his birthday cake. Wow, rather a lot.
Imagine the stories if trees could talk.
Yes. Look at this lovely little bench we can sit on the way up the hill, up Glastonbury Way. And if I sit down, look at the view. It isn't capturing it on camera the way it is to my eyes. It is absolutely fabulous. Miles and miles of space, sky, fields. Absolutely stunning. If I stand up and turn that way, you can look down into the valley where we've already walked quite a long way up that hill, and I'm worn out. We're walking along here and there is no sign of the Tor, but then we came from behind a tree and look at that. It's a bit obvious, isn't it? It's like a birthday cake with a candle on. Right, we know which way to go now. Come on everyone. One last push and we'll be to the bottom, and then we've got to get to the top. Here's another bench, but I tell you it's a very brave person who'll stop to rest on there, because growing through the bench are a lot of sticky nettles. I think I'll carry on walking.
As I look at this now, I understand why when I was checking on the internet and looking up some of the history of this location, why some people were asking the question, is this a pyramid? Does St. Michael's Tower stand atop a man-made object? Because it kind of feels that way when you look at it, but it's not. Thousands of years ago, it would have been an island, because the ground all around you would have been flooded, but it is a completely natural phenomena. But there are earthworks around it, spiral pathways, and those were created back at around the same time as Stonehenge. So the activity here has been going on for a long time. And of course, as well as its mystical positioning and shape here high above all of the town and the goings on below, it's also got so many stories attached. We're talking everything from Arthurian legends. This is where Excalibur was forged. This is where Arthur was buried. This is where Mary Magdalene came, along with Joseph of Arimathea, and brought the Holy Grail. This place is awesome, and it feels it.
Aha, this looks promising. National Trust Glastonbury Tor. Please respect this special place. No camping, no fires. This is an update from a very out of condition 59-year-old. We're about a third of the way up the steps and it's killing me. What about our very out of condition 62-year-old? How can you speak, Phil? You out of breath?
I'm fine.
Oh.
I'm fine as long as we keep to short sentences.
Okay.
And I don't think it's going to get any more shallow.
No, we couldn't get right up there yet. I think I exaggerated when I said we were a third of the way up. Probably about a fifth. Oh well. Up this way and around we go. Now look at that for a view. It's amazing. You can see all the Mayflower and all the scenery in the distance. We can see for miles. And we're still not there yet. Well, we're even higher up. You can hear the traffic in the distance all the way down there. There's even a marquee. I don't think I can point to it. I'll have a go. About there-ish. But then, if I turn around, we're nearly there. There it is. Come on, everyone. One last push or two. We'll be there. It's very windy, but I thought you might like a 360-degree view from where I'm standing. It's pretty amazing.
It is, because we can see Wales from here.
Yep. There's the Tor. And there in the distance, over there, is Wales. Turns out Mr. Phil Genius said that this over here is St Michael's Tower. So now we know. Next time we look at the Tor, we'll think, ah, that's not the Tor.
Tor is a word for hill. So we're stood on the Tor looking at the tower. Tower of St Michael. That tower, it's only 600-700 years old, but on the site of a church that was here long before that, 1,000 years before. And pilgrims have come here way before Christianity. 10,000 years of pilgrimage.
Shall we go in? Let's have a look. Ooh, look at this.
Nuclear power is not clean.
Let's look up there. Oh, you can see the sky. Look at that. It's enormous. We've got 3 floors. Well, no floors, but there would have been 3 floors. And as you can see, this place is accessible to everyone and anyone. You can just come in, have a rest before you walk down the other side of the hill or mountain, whatever they call it. I know it's a tor, but in Wales we call it a mountain. In Scotland they call it a hill. And then you're out the other side and into that beautiful sunset. Look at that.
We've been to some places, we've seen some views, and we've shared them with you. We've walked in the steps of all manner of people, and it always feels special and somewhat humbling. But today, to know that for 10,000 years people have climbed to the top of this hill or tor and stood there and had that sense of the magnificence of creation all around them, as they could look right out over as far as Wales. This was a place that people came to in the Neolithic times. This was a centre of the worship for the Celtic people. This became a centre of worship in Christian faith. All manner of people have walked this way. And today, we've been here and you've been with us. Hope you've enjoyed this trip. And if you have, then please give us a thumbs up.
Doing, doing, doing.
And don't forget, share the link with all your friends. Anyone who'd like to come on our travels, the more the merrier. But most important, till the next time, we're out and about. Have fun. Bye.
Bye.